He was running for his life, gunshots still echoing behind him, 24 shell casings littering the street. And then he tripped, lost his left shoe, jumped a wall and vanished into the darkness. That shoe, it would bring down an entire criminal empire 3 years later. December 17th, 2025, 4 in the morning. Federal agents stormed 20 locations across Southern California simultaneously. 76 guns, 10 pounds of meth, thousands of fentanyl pills strong enough to kill elephants, and 17 gang members who thought they were untouchable. This is the real story of Operation Burning Bridges and how one mistake destroyed a gang that had controlled the streets for 70 years. Before we dive in, if you're into real crime stories that actually happened, hit that subscribe button. We break down the biggest busts and wildest cases every week. To understand how it all came crashing down, you need to know who these guys really were. Puente 13. The name might not mean anything to you, but in the San Gabriel Valley, it means everything. 600 members, 14 different cliques spread across La Puente, Hacienda Heights, Walnut, Pomona, West Covina. They'd been running these streets since 1950, originally calling themselves the Bridgetown Gentlemen before things got darker. But here's what made them different. That number 13, it's not random. 13, the 13th letter of the alphabet, M for Mexican Mafia. See, Puente 13 wasn't just another street gang. They were soldiers. The Mexican Mafia, La Emi, runs things from inside prison walls, pulling strings, ordering hits, collecting taxes. Every drug deal, every gun sale, every crime Puente 13 committed, a percentage went straight up to Mexican Mafia bosses locked away in maximum security. It was a business, and business was good. Until December 18th, 2022, the night everything started to unravel. East Hearst Street, Covina, California, a quiet residential block. Several people were hanging out outside when a car pulled up. 2 shooters jumped out. What happened next was pure chaos. 24 shots, bullets ripping into the home, walls, cars, people diving for cover, neighbors calling 911, and the 2 shooters, they ran. One of them was 23-year-old Dominic Ornelas. Street name, Lil Speedy. He was living up to that name, sprinting through backyards, vaulting over fences. But then he tripped. His left shoe flew off as he scrambled over a retaining wall and disappeared into the night. Police arrived. Shell casings everywhere, terrified witnesses, and one Nike shoe sitting in the dirt like a breadcrumb from a fairy tale. Except this was no fairy tale. This was the beginning of a 3-year federal investigation that would tear apart one of California's most powerful gangs. Covina PD bagged the shoe, sent it to the lab. DNA came back, Dominic Ornelas. The shoe matched the exact size and brand of other shoes found in his room when they finally got a warrant. One piece of evidence, one careless moment. That's all it took. But here's the thing, investigators started asking questions. Why were Puente 13 members shooting at other Puente 13 members? The house belonged to the Blackwood clique. Ornelas was Ballista. Same gang, different factions. A civil war was brewing, and federal agents wanted to know why. That's when the ATF got involved. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives doesn't mess around. They dubbed it Operation Burning Bridges. For 3 years, they watched. They listened. Wiretaps on phones, confidential informants embedded in the gang, undercover agents buying guns and drugs in what they called controlled purchases. Adrian Lopez, street name, Tapton or Monkey, 25 years old from La Puente. He was dealing weight pounds of meth, thousands of fentanyl pills. Victor Sanchez, Pollo or Chicken, 24, from San Bernardino. Isaiah Castro, Boy, 24, from Azusa. All of them moving product, collecting money, paying their tax to the Mexican Mafia bosses in prison. But what really caught the feds' attention? The violence. Because Puente 13 wasn't just slinging drugs, they were kidnapping people, beating them, shooting at rivals, following orders from incarcerated gang leaders who issued what they called green lights, assassination orders that could only be carried out by street soldiers. Execute a green light successfully, you'd earn respect, status, maybe even get your own piece of territory. Then came July 2023, and things got even darker. July 8, 2023. Grapevine Lane, San Bernardino. Heather Covarrubias, 40 years old, street name Snowbella, calls the police. Someone broke into the house she shares with Adrian Lopez. Jewelry stolen. She tells deputies that she and Lopez had given house keys to a guy named AA so he could work on Lopez's car. 12 days later, July 20th, AA and his friend AC are grabbed, kidnapped, held against their will for over 24 hours. Why? Lopez and Covarrubias were convinced they stole that jewelry. What happened next was brutal. AA was beaten. Severely. They wanted that jewelry back and they didn't care what it took. AC? They let him go, maybe to send a message. Maybe they figured he wasn't involved. But AA, he had to escape. Beaten, bloody, terrified, he ran, made it to safety, told police everything. Federal investigators now had kidnapping, assault, witness testimony. This wasn't just drug dealing anymore. This was violent crime with real victims who could testify. The case was building. But Puente 13 wasn't slowing down. In fact, the violence was about to get even more reckless. May 2nd, 2025. 5:19 in the morning. Most people are still asleep. H&H liquor store on Glendora Avenue in La Puente is about to open. Across the street, a guy is at the car wash, vacuuming his car. Just a regular morning. He's not in a gang, never has been. Just a working guy trying to get his car clean before heading to work. Then a Honda Accord with Arizona plates pulls up, parks right on the sidewalk next to the liquor store. 3 people get out. One of them starts spray painting the wall, gang tagging, marking territory. Isaac Estrada Frost, 21 years old, street name Ghost, is driving. Someone hands him a gun. He walks toward the car wash, toward the guy vacuuming, and he starts yelling, slurs aimed at Crips gang members. "This is Puente," he shouts. The victim sees what's happening. He's not stupid. He heads for his car to leave. As he drives past, Estrada Frost opens fire. Bullets punch through the passenger door frame. The man escapes, shaken but alive. Surveillance cameras caught everything. The Honda, the spray painting, the shooting. Federal agents now had video evidence of attempted murder over a case of mistaken identity. This is insane, right? Drop a comment below. Have you ever heard of Puente 13 before this story? Let me know. December 17th, 2025. The ATF had seen enough. 3 years of wiretaps, controlled buys, video surveillance, testimony from kidnapping victims, DNA from a shoe. It was time to move. 4 a.m. 17 search warrants, 20 arrest warrants, Los Angeles County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County. Federal agents, ATF, local police, everyone coordinated. Simultaneous strikes across Southern California. Doors kicked in, suspects pulled from their beds, and what they found was staggering. 76 firearms, 14 of them rifles, 1 machine gun conversion device, 4 short-barreled rifles, 3 guns with the serial numbers scratched off, body armor, thousands of rounds of ammunition, 10 pounds of methamphetamine, thousands of pills containing fentanyl and carfentanil, a synthetic opioid 100 times more powerful than fentanyl. The kind of stuff that can kill you if you even touch it. $9,500 in cash. 17 gang members arrested, 1 already in state custody on other charges, and 2 fugitives still on the run. Larry Castillo, 42, street name Lil D, from Victorville. Sue Kang, 31, Easy, from Koreatown. And Brian Gordian Padilla, 24, Goon, from West Covina. All 3 vanished. Federal marshals are still hunting them as of today. By noon, the arrests were making headlines. By evening, 9 defendants were in federal court for initial appearances, 7 more the next day. Let's talk about what these guys are facing. Federal charges, not state. That means no parole, no early release for good behavior. When the feds charge you, they mean business. Conspiracy to commit kidnapping, distribution of methamphetamine and fentanyl, possession of a machine gun, possession of firearms in furtherance of drug trafficking crimes, illegal gun sales, and for 9 of the 20 defendants charged, they're looking at life in federal prison. Life. No possibility of parole. The names: Victor Sanchez, Isaiah Castro, Isaac Estrada Frost, Heather Covarrubias, Dominic Ornelas, the guy who left his shoe, Adrian Lopez. ATF Special Agent in Charge Kenny Cooper stood in front of cameras and said, "We believe we dismantled his organization." LA County Sheriff Robert Luna added that the operation made communities safer, helped reduce homicides and violent crime rates. But here's the bigger picture. Puente 13 has 600 members. They arrested 17. 3 more are on the run, so what happens to the rest? Does this cripple the gang, or does someone else step up to fill the void? Because that's how these things work. You cut off one head, another grows back. The Mexican Mafia is still in prison, still issuing orders, still collecting taxes from gangs across Southern California. Puente 13 might be weakened, but they've survived since 1950. 75 years of controlling territory, moving drugs, enforcing the will of Laimi. Here's what really gets me about this case. It wasn't some brilliant detective work that cracked it wide open. It was a shoe. One guy tripping while running from a crime scene. That shoe sat in an evidence locker while investigators built their case piece by piece over 3 years. Wiretaps, surveillance, controlled buys, witness testimony. But that shoe, that was the thread they pulled that unraveled everything. And that's the thing about crime. You can plan the perfect operation. You can pay your taxes to the Mexican Mafia. You can intimidate witnesses and control territory and move millions in drugs. But all it takes is one mistake, one careless moment, one left shoe lying in the dirt. Dominic Ornelas probably doesn't even remember losing it. Just another night, another shooting, another escape. Until 3 years later when federal agents kicked in his door at 4 in the morning. So where does this leave us? 17 arrested, 3 on the run, 76 guns off the streets, 10 pounds of meth that won't poison communities, thousands of fentanyl pills that won't kill kids. That's the win. But 600 gang members are still out there. The Mexican Mafia is still running things from behind bars, and the streets of the San Gabriel Valley, they're still dangerous. Operation Burning Bridges sent a message, but whether that message gets heard, that's a different story. If you want to stay updated on cases like this, real crime stories, federal busts, cartel takedowns, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. And drop a comment. What do you think happens next to Puente 13? Can a 75-year-old gang survive this kind of hit? Let me know below. Until next time, stay safe out there.